Hey guys, I'm gonna do a little update video today. Today's going to be December the 20th, 2023. I have been pumping out a whole lot of boards. The shop's a little messy right now. Need to clean that up. This is a cedar pallet that I picked up. We were installing some flooring on a job, and the floor man came with the LVP flooring that we had, and it was on a cedar pallet, and I said, I could use that because basically the box that I built in the Forerunner is framed out of 2x4s, but it has cedar, accents or siding on it. Here's a little slab that I turned its book match part into charcuterie boards. Here's one of them here. I think I'm going to start using some sawdust and glue to fill in stuff because using CA, it just takes forever. And I still get like pit holes where it's wanting to breathe, and I can't ever just fully get everything. Um, I can't get it all to where it doesn't have any holes in the glue. So this is a little piece that I created here. This is the live edge where the bark was, and basically I took shape of like a witch's hat, and then I just went from like a 1 inch, 7/8, 3/4, and 5/8. So just to give it some kind of unique design, but I really like this one. But I think it's the one that looks like a clever blade. I think that's like my favorite one. But anyways, been using this Harbor Freight drill press. It's the 12 speed. Gets the job done. You just got to keep these bits clean. I'm probably going to go to an auger bit instead of a Forstner bit since I'm drilling all the way through. But I've been keeping them clean, and you can also sharpen them. I've been actually using my chainsaw file. I don't know if it's going to focus, but you can sharpen this edge and then that edge, and it's actually pretty simple. As soon as you're doing any kind of drilling, or if you're using like your saw blades and it starts smoking, you need to clean your blade or whatever you're using to cut into the wood, because if it's smoking, you're either holding your tool in the same spot too long, or the tool is just blunt, like the blade has gone dull. So Delta contractor saw's been running smooth. These have issues of like the motor going bad because of the way the dust collection is. But I wanted to show you, I took this bolt out of the fence, and I've got to replace this because this knob broke off, and I just flipped it 180. So now when I release the fence, I go down, and then I can tap it and the handle's sticking straight out, and then to lock it I raise it up. The other way is to lock it, you go down, and then to raise it you go up, and all it does is just fall. But so I like this way a whole lot better. So when it's locked and you made your cut and you want to move, you can just smack it down and then just tap it over. So I like that setup a lot better. These are some things that I was making last night. These are going to be for Haley. They're book page keepers or openers. So you basically put your thumb in here and then you can hold your book. And this one's made out of walnut and spalted maple. And then here's the other one. It's kind of small. But all these are just hand cut and hand sanded, so it's not perfect. I was trying to set up a template for it, but my router just ate it and threw it, and I didn't like that, so I changed that up. I am going to sell this planer. I'm just tired of it. You've got 2 straight knives in it, and they're really, really small, and I'm getting more critique in my finishes, and I just want something that's going to be a lot better finish. So I'm going to try to get a 20-inch planer. If I can't get it, or if I can't find one for a price that I'm willing to pay, I'll just get the DeWalt 13-inch. Here's some pieces here. We've got, this is some elm that I've been keeping tabs on moisture control. Then this is some olive wood that we've got. I have been using, I got some red oak flooring from a person that had it on a job. That is actually what I'm making the chevron right there out of. There's my little router table. This is like my sanding setup here. So my sanding disc, my tools in there, a vacuum, a bunch of Haley stuff. This is like our little setup here, but we both kind of use it. This needs to be organized. I've got some little cherry logs that I'm going to pour some epoxy in. That's my juice grooves template, my Bosch sander. Trying to find another sander. I would like to get some Rotex, like by Festool. I'm looking for a track saw too, and I want to go Festool, but I don't know. I haven't decided. I've got a chance to get a Ryobi track saw for really, really cheap, but I can't decide if I want to do that or not. There's that chevron here. I think I'm going to turn this into a cookbook stand because it's only 1/2 inch thick, and it, I don't trust this to be a cutting board or anything when something's that thick, thin, because it would be prone to warping and bending, and I'm just not a fan of that. And then these are some Trump charcuterie boards that we built. We got the templates from Crafted Elements, I think. There's a little pack-up setup here. I need to go through that. That goes to work with me. This is just like a storage. I was taking that part here camping. But yeah, this is my little setup that I've been working with. This is kind of like my sanding station because I like to use foam pads here. They don't really move. There's a foam pad there. I don't even have it clamped down. Foam pad just keeps everything secure. I do have a bunch of wood up there that I can go through, but I've been building a bunch of boards out of scraps. So I'm not that YouTuber that always complains about, oh, you should throw your scraps away, or you've got a scrap bin. I basically have scraps all around here, but I'm the type of woodworker where all of this is kind of like my scraps, and you can't really do, anything with these. I could probably turn that one into the little finger book holder, but yeah, those would just go into the burn pile. And I've got some scraps here. So I basically use everything, and the scraps that I did have that I was saving from last year, I've already glued up and turned into cutting boards or some kind of display. Like I made those Christmas trees and stuff like that. So everything else is pretty much good to go. I did make this slate gray toolbox. I think this video got about 20,000 views right now of me building this up. Or what I did was I bought it when it first came out from Harbor Freight. Then I made a video of me putting it together because I've never really seen anybody put these together, and they're not as easy as you think for somebody that doesn't know how to tighten bolts or don't know what a ratchet or a wrench is. So I just gave a little preview of how it sets up, and hopefully that has helped anybody, with their install or when they purchase it. So this needs to be cleaned up. This is a scattered mess. CA glue, my flattening router, my glue, my walnut glue, my drills, bits, my board wax, some stain is in there. I've got all kinds of stuff. This is a 12-inch square, so that definitely needs to be cleaned up. It's getting close to Christmas, so I'm trying to slow down. I've been working really hard for the past 2 weeks of building stuff, and in the next video I'll show you the boards that I've built. Alright, I'm going to show you some of the boards I've been making. This has already been made, but what happened was Haley had a drip of resin about here, so I had to redo the whole front surface of this board here, which it didn't take me too long, but I was just having issues with my finishes. So basically what this is this polyurethane, and I've got about 2 or 3 layers of polyurethane on here, and then what I do is I'll sand it down up to about 400, and then I put my beeswax and buff that in so it's really smooth. I love that finish. It's kind of a natural finish is what I use on my cutting boards, not the polyurethane, but I would do like a bunch of mineral oil, and well, I'll sand up to 400 and then come back with the beeswax and buff that in, and it's just a really nice finish. I don't do that with all of my cutting boards. It depends. Normally I only have to go up to 220 or 320, but for items like this could be a butcher block too, because it's a pretty thick, I haven't measured it, but it's about 1.75 to 2 inches, and I've got the same type of finish on this, and it's very smooth. And then that's a lazy Susan. But for this item here, I've got some hooks coming in, and then I'm actually going to use my black vinyl wrap braided line that I use for fishing, like drum fishing, and I'm going to, what is it called? Crimps, but I'll give a good video in the future of it, but it's going to look very good and professional. So I like that instead of the little chicken wire that people put on the backside. I want mine to look really nice. And these are the little boards here. I had to make this because I sold all the other ones and my aunt wanted one, so I had to make one for her. This has the same finish on it. I don't really like gloss. I kind of like a flat but like a moderate sheen to it. Here's some little 3-tier. Made these out of cedar, so just a 3-tier Christmas tree, and 1.5-inch Forstner drilled out. I'm trying to come up with a different lighting source, that way I can get the light up higher so you can really see the reflection of the trees, but that's in the works. I'm trying to find a acrylic tube and then just put a light inside of that, so basically like a lightsaber. So Han Solo trees. Board for my aunt. This is a black walnut limb, and then these are the little charcuterie boards that I've been making out of the actual slabs. So this is the sweet gum. Got a little scratch right there, but that's just from putting it in to this board here. So you can just basically rub that out. But I haven't put a wax finish on these. I had these soaked in mineral oil for probably 12 hours, and then I've had them inside drying out. This is my favorite one here. I kept the actual bark on the live edge, soaked it with polyurethane, and then I did run a bead of CA glue down the side, and then it has a unique type of handle to it. I call it the gooseneck because when you hold it, it feels like you are grabbing a goose's neck. Because if you've ever had a goose to run at you, a male goose, and he thinks he's top dog, you've got to grab him by the neck and throw him, not literally throw him, but tell him to go in this direction. Because you've got to tell a goose who's boss, because if you don't, they'll run all over you. This is a beautiful board here. And I made this one out of scraps. Made this one out of scraps. I made this one out of scraps. And if anybody knows, like if you see this right in here, if anybody knows how I can get that out, I mean, I sit here a whole lot in sand and sand and sand. But for this board, I haven't been able to, like it's smooth, but you can visibly see the grain. I don't know if I need to hit it with some more wax. But I've got a little bit of holes in there. But overall, this is a pretty good looking board. It's walnut and spotted maple. This wood here, it's on the verge of rot, so it wasn't that good of a wood to use, so maybe that's why it's doing that. But it's still a very solid board. And I made this out of scraps. This is teak wood, and all of these boards are in grain. And then I made this poplar board out of scraps, and this is a good sized board, so I put juice grooves in this one. Basically every board that I do, I just run a chamfer down it on the bottom and the top. It's not a whole lot, but it's a lot of work. It's in grain boards and live edge boards and a lot of sanding and just trying to create different designs because all of them are hand cut.